Years ago, when I had my marketing company, I got to this point where I was waiting for rescue. I was in survival mode and I was just hoping that someone would come along and save me. I thought a salesperson could come and save me, or an operational person would come and save me. I just thought I needed to hire someone, find the right software, get the right client, that I just needed the right thing, the right silver bullet, the magic thing that would just make all my problems go away. At the core, I was struggling to accept reality, and so I wanted someone else to alleviate reality for me. And I was waiting for rescue. I was like a lost person, just waiting for someone to find me. And I realized that when we're lost, we still have a responsibility and an opportunity. When I discovered this, I had met my friend. His name is Joe Kissick. He wrote a book called The Fourth Fisherman about these three Mexican fishermen that were stranded at sea for 9 months until they were finally rescued. There was actually five of them when they started, and three of them survived and two of them died. And when I first met Joe and heard that story, I wanted to know immediately, why did the three live and why did two of them die? And he clarified for me, the reason the three lived is they did what they could. They got busy and did what they could within the context and circumstances that they had available to them. They did the hard things. They drank turtle blood. They caught fish. They happened to have a Bible on their boat and they read that to each other. And the two that died, what had happened is they waited for rescue. They thought, well, a boat's coming to come and save us. And they were overly optimistic and hopeful that the boat would come essentially immediately. And they didn't do the hard things to survive. They just sat around and they essentially just chose to die. And the other three got busy. They did what they could and they acted. And they did that to get into a rhythm and figure out how to survive on a boat in the middle of the ocean for 9 months. That's crazy. And they survived and eventually they were rescued. And when I heard that story, it just hit me like a ton of books. Like, wow, in my business, that's me. I'm the guys that are going to die. I'm the one waiting for rescue. And if I just keep waiting, eventually the storm, the environment, nature is just going to take me out. I have to shift my mindset and operate more like the three fishermen, the ones that survived. I tell that to you as an encouragement. I want you, if you're in that place, if you're waiting for rescue, if you're waiting for someone else to solve your problems, if you're waiting for someone else to get you a promotion at work, tell your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend something that's bothering you that you haven't told them, if you haven't started that business, started that book, started your YouTube channel, if you're just waiting for someone else to come along and do it, that person's probably not going to come around. And that means you're going to go years and years and maybe even decades just waiting, wasting time when you could decide, I'm going to do the hard thing. I'm going to take responsibility, even if it's not how it ought to be. Maybe it is somebody else's fault. Maybe someone else is to be blamed and responsible for the plight that you're in. But you also have a choice on how you're going to respond to that and how you're going to prevent it the next time. And so you have agency, you have a choice. And so I think if you stop waiting for rescue, you have an adventure ahead of you. There's an adventure waiting for you. It's going to require that you take a leap of faith. So me and my wife, we recently made a leap of faith. We made a huge decision to buy something big. I won't give it away, but you can check it out in the link above or in the notes below. She has a dream, and she's been doing things over the last several years to move towards that dream, little steps along the way. And this was a really big step that we took. And we're now going on an adventure. And for me, it's not a dream that I have. It's a dream that she has. So I'm here to support her. And YouTube is one way that I've discovered, hey, this is a way that I can help share that dream with her, help her move that forward and document it and share it with you on this channel. But it was a leap of faith. It was a big decision for us to do in a season of upheaval in our country and financial chaos and a lot of challenges that I expect to be coming down the pike. But we decided to take that step and go into that adventure with those risks because, I'm 40, my wife's gonna be 40 this year, and I've been on so many adventures and she's been on so many adventures with me. And there are such growing opportunities, but this is also an opportunity, she's in many ways, she's been the one riding along my coattails on the many adventures that I've gone. And this is an opportunity for me to repay that favor and encourage and support her as she pursues this dream of hers, this dream that's become a clear vision she's moving towards, and play a part of encouragement and support and sharing it with you. And so you have an adventure ahead as well. And I want you to take that step. You might not know where you're going, you might not know the vision, but you might have an idea. You might have a little glimpse, a little seed, or maybe you've got 100 seeds. You just need to water them all and see which ones start to sprout up. You don't have to have it figured out to go on an adventure. You can just start going on a bunch of little adventures and then let those little adventures take you to the bigger ones. I started personally journaling in like 2010, just in my Evernote privately. I started blogging in 2014. Like it was like 4 years later, I started publicly doing that. So I took a little step, I took another step. Then in 20 2017, I published my first book, Path of the Freelancer. Published my second book for small business owners, The Jump. And I'm working on my third book, which is called From the Garden to the Cross. Very different book than these other ones. I launched my podcast in 2020. That was another little adventure. I started YouTube in January of 2025 this year. That was another little adventure. And I've been freelancing this whole time. I've been doing all of these things while I'm freelancing and earning our income for our family, a single income family. So it's been quite a wild ride. And I figured things out and mastered things, but then there are other things I haven't figured out, like YouTube. I'm still trying to learn it and figure it out, what's working, what's not. But I'm just moving forward. I'm taking that next step. And, I look back and I go, wow, I wish I would have started YouTube earlier, more seriously, because I could be so much further along. I had a blind spot with the opportunity, and I didn't realize what actually the opportunity was with YouTube until recently. But it's finally a step I took, and the other steps led to that. That's part of the process. Is you might discover like a better thing in the future, but you may never get to that better thing if you never take the steps that you take, and you never know the steps you're going to need to get to the steps that you need to get to in order to accomplish what you really want to accomplish. So there's an adventure for you, and I want you to take that next step. And I want you to share what that is in the comments below. What's that next step for you? What might be holding you back that maybe other people could share their thoughts, feedback to help you overcome any challenges you're facing? But think of this video as your moment to get started. The smallest thing you could do to get started might just simply be take a notepad, take a pen, and just write down the dream. Write down 100 dreams. Come back a couple days later and circle maybe the top 10 and start with the smallest step you can take. I mean, writing a book, that seems like a lot of effort, a lot of work, but you could just write one blog post, or you could journal one sentence, or you could write just a couple words. You don't have to start with the big thing right away. I wrote this book, it took me about 18 months to get this done, and it was an hour a day, 1 hour a day, every day. And that's really how the adventure begins. It's one step at a time. And you climb the mountain, it might take you 10,000 steps, but every step contributes to the 10,000. I'm on an adventure, and there's so many fruits that come from the journey. I want you to stop waiting for rescue, and I want you to start taking those steps and go on your adventure. I'm Jason Scott Montoya, and I'll see you on the other side.